Hello and welcome to another short video on X-Ray Managed File Transfer. In this video I'm going to describe how we can upload a file to Secure Transport and have it pushed automatically to an AWS S3 bucket. Let's have a quick look at the requirements. So firstly I'm going to need the S3 bucket details. So this is where I'm going to send the file. So I need my upload location, some credentials and the name and region for the bucket. And then on Secure Transport, it's pretty simple. In this case, I'm going to need a user account, an S3 transfer site, and I'm going to need a subscription to push the file as we receive it. Okay, let's get into building it. So the first thing I'm going to need is a user account. Now with Secure Transport and subscriptions, I could go ahead and reuse a user account that I had. I can have multiple subscriptions within an account. There's no limit to how many subscriptions and transfer flows you can have configured within a single account. But in this case, I'm going to keep it separate. I'm going to create a new account. I'm going to call it H2S3. And again, I'm just going to go with the mandatory requirements here. I am going to log on this time, so I'm going to create a login. So the username is going to default to the same as the account name, and I'm going to set a password. So that should be my account created now and ready to go. And because this is a client initiated upload, I'm going to want to authenticate with a SSH public key. I could use a password for the command line, but if you're going to batch this up and do some sort of scripted process, you're probably going to want to authenticate with keys. So to do that on a Linux host is pretty easy. There's a bunch of utilities for this, but I'm going to use SSH keygen on my Unix server, and that's going to generate a private and public key pair. And what that looks like is a couple of text files here. So if I am authenticating with a key, I need to present my private key, which is this file here, to the server, who then verifies it based on the public key that they have stored. So the public key needs to get sent to the Secure Transport administrator and then installed within the user account. So that's a pretty easy process. This can be public information. You don't have to worry about securing the public key. So what I can do is just paste this text here, or take the ID rsa.pub file and import it. So in Secure Transport we have a series of certificates at the user account level. The login certs is what we're going to use here because this is going to authenticate the user based on a certificate. And I can go ahead and import. So I've got an SSH key. Let's see, a password is required for this. I'll set some validity for a while. And then I can just paste the key in here. Alright, so that's imported now. So to test this out, I can then connect to the server and try and authenticate with this key. So let's test this out now. CFTP, and remember the port in this case is 8022. So what this is prompting me here for is asking me to accept the key fingerprint, which I'm going to go ahead and do. And then we can see there it's connected without prompting me for a password. So that key authentication has then worked. So for accessing this S3 bucket, I'm going to use a access and secret key from AWS. So how I get that on the AWS side is I'm going to navigate to IAM. I'm going to find my user account, navigate to security credentials, and under access keys here I'm going to create a access key. Okay, so this has given me the access and secret key. You've got the option to download a CSV file here, which I'm going to download and probably not be able to find the next time I need it, but this should give me the access and secret key, which I can now use for my Secure Transport S3 transfer site. So the next thing I'm going to need to do is set up my S3 transfer site. So we'll navigate to the transfer sites tab and select a S3 transfer site type. So this is going to be X-Way Demo Bucket. X-Way Demo Bucket is the name. And then I'm going to have to select the region. So in this case it's Southeast 2, Sydney. Again, no network zone because I'm connecting directly from Secure Transport. So using the access and secret key that I've created, I'm going to paste these values in here. And that should be good to go. So I need to set up the upload location. So I'm going to do something like inbound by default if you've got the rights with your account, which I do. It's going to create the, let's try that again, inbound. It's going to create the upload destination as it gets written for the first time. Alright, and that looks good now. I should be ready to go here, so I'm going to go ahead and save this. And my demo bucket site should be ready to go. So now that I've got the site ready to go, I can create a basic subscription. So I'm going to go to the subscriptions tab again and select basic. Hit subscribe. This time somebody's going to see this when they upload, so they'll see a folder structure. So I'm going to give it something sensible like to S3. In this case, I'm not downloading from anywhere. I'm waiting for a client to upload a file to me. So I just need to configure the second half of the subscription. So send the files to the X-Way bucket, and I'm going to delete the file when it's sent, so I don't need the copy hanging around of Secure Transport. So that should be ready to go. I'll hit add, and now we can go and test it. So to test, I'm just going to jump over to my Linux console. I'm going to SFTP to the server. Then I should see the directory that I've created for the subscription. And then it's simply a case of uploading a file, and once the file's been put into that directory, it should get pushed to the S3 bucket. So I'm going to put temp and if I have a quick look in there, it's already disappeared, so I'm pretty confident that that's been sent. But to verify, I'll switch back over to Secure Transport, look at the operations file tracking, and sure enough I see an inbound SSH transfer and then an outbound push to my S3 bucket. Again, you can look at the file tracking logs here and link to the Secure Transport server logs if you need to look in any more depth. Okay, well that concludes this video. I hope it's been useful. Thank you, and we'll see you again.